Hello, beautiful Libra. Welcome to your 2025 extensive tarot reading. I am Elena Valdez, and I am so excited to have you here today. Beautiful Libra, this is going to be a bit longer reading because I do incorporate the 12 houses of the astrological wheel. Each house has an area of themes or topics, life topics, and I will be incorporating those topics and themes with the themes of the tarot. So we're going to start with the overall energy of the year. And you have the Hierophant. Woo-wee. I love it, Libra. This can be an indication as the overall energy for 2025 that you may be moving into a higher level commitment, either in a relationship, on a project, maybe even at work, or a combination of all of those things, beautiful Libra. This can also be indicating maybe becoming a bit more open or involved in groups or topics of spirituality. But more than that, it's about something with structure and commitment, longevity, that type of energy. What a beautiful, beautiful overall energy to get out of the gate. All right, Libra, let's get started with the houses. I have already pre-shuffled your deck, but I'm going to give it a little bit more here, a little bit more love for you. I hope that you're having a fantastic new year. Okay, let's start with the first house, second house, third house, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight, and I will organize this here in a bit, 9, 10, 11, 12. And don't worry, I will explain what each theme means, what it symbolizes. You're going to get like a quick little review on the astrological houses here, a quick little like crash course, if you will, for those of you who don't already know astrology and the houses. It's always fun. This is one of my favorite readings to do. It is a bit longer, so patience will be required. Beautiful Libra. Yes, I need it to look pretty, okay? I hope it's not too crooked. I hope it's okay. All right, Libra, let's get started. And we're going to get started here with the first house. And the first house is the I am. It's you. It identifies you. So it's one of the most important houses because it is our outlook and also how we choose to use our physical body. So in 2025, this will give us an indication of that. And also, this is about the first impressions we make upon other people, upon meeting them. It starts our entire chart, right, when we're actually looking at our own natal chart. But in terms of this year for 2025, you got the Three of Pentacles. So your point of focus here is going to be about working well with other people, collaborating well. And this can be in all areas of relationship, right, Libra? It can be in your business, at work, in relationship. It's about balancing our weaknesses and strengths with other people and their weaknesses and strengths. And it's also how other people are viewing you. So other people are viewing you as somebody who can collaborate well, as somebody who works well with other people and who is responsive when it comes to working with other people. What a beautiful energy. And then you have the Knight of Pentacles. So when it comes to the physical things that are related to your body, you're going to be opting for the types of exercises that revolve more like strength training, slow, peaceful moving over any kind of running, hardcore like cardio, like that type of thing. This is a year where you're going to move a little bit more methodically, Libra. You're going to think things through before you take action, but you are also going to be very consistent. It's the energy of I mean what I say and I say what I mean, the Knight of Pentacles. And you have it in the first house of your outlook for the year. And the I am. This is you. This is the energy that you're going to be embodying But again, it's also how other people are going to be viewing you here in 2025. And then we move into the second house. The second house is our financial resources. It's also about our self-esteem, our self-worth, our self-value, what we value, our investments. It also speaks about legacy and the things that we need to create legacy. So that can be land, that can be investments. But more importantly than any of that, this is about our value system and the things and the people that we hold valuable. And you have the Hanged Man. So again, it's similar. This is a year where you are going to value other people's perspective. You're going to value differences. You're going to move through compassion with this. Because remember, the second house, the crux of it is our value system and what we hold valuable. But this is also about having compassion towards the way we earn a living. Right? Like really looking at things sincerely and honestly and having enough compassion to ask for what we are worth. Because the second house, again, it goes back to how we see ourselves, how we value ourselves. Let's see what else we get there. The Ten of Cups. Oh my gosh, you're starting off here in such a peaceful energy, Libra. I love it. This is what's going to be important for you this year. Family, building family, rebuilding family, restructuring your current family. Maybe if anything has happened in 2024 that get you off course a little bit, this is going to be a year where you're going to focus on bringing it back. And there's a level of forgiveness and compassion here with the Hanged Man. So maybe potentially if anything happened in 2024 where the values of the family came apart because of whatever distraction may have happened, here in 2025, the focus is going to be all family. This is family oriented. And even here with the commitment card with the Hierophant, right? Like, I love this energy for you, Libra. It's quite beautiful already. The third house is the house of communication, our neighborhood, our neighbors, our siblings, our cousins, our classmates, the people we grew up with, the kiddos that were our friends in grammar school. But more importantly than any of that, it's the house of communication. It also speaks about short-term or short-distance travel. It's also the house of learning, the 101s that we learn, our studying, right? That type of thing. It can also be social media. You got the King of Swords in the house of communication. So you're going to be communicating very clearly in 2025, beautiful Libra. This is a year where you're going to make sure that what you say is heard clearly. You're going to make sure that you're also studying here. With the King of Swords, it's about mastering something. It's about getting clear about the things we need to learn, the gaps, right? The gaps that we have in learning and knowledge. And for you to get the King of Swords in the third house, you are going to be leading when it comes to communication. So for some of you, this can be in the public arena because it is the third house, and the third house can also symbolize social media. It can also symbolize marketing. So this is about you mastering those areas of not just communication, not just marketing, social media, but also being intact and in alignment with what you say and how it's being received, right? It's actually a really great card to get there. It's probably one of the best cards to get in the third house because it's congruent and it vibrates well there. It's an air house, the third house. It's the house of Gemini, and King of Swords, can symbolize or does symbolize an air sign as well. So, and then we have the Ace of Cups. So your focus in the area of communication, beautiful Libra, is really stemming from an overflow of love. You're very much focused here on giving love, receiving love, and speaking from the perspective of love, the perspective of compassion. Again, Ace of Cups and the Hanged Man, compassion, love overflowing. Forgiving too. This is also a card that brings up topics of forgiveness. So you may be having communication or conversations with people here, with your siblings, your neighborhood, your neighbors, your social media people, about topics of love, forgiveness, compassion. This is beautiful energy to get. I am so impressed by your reading so far, Libra. Very nice. Wow, very powerful. Okay, and then we move into the fourth house. The fourth house speaks of topics regarding to our home, the home we live in, our ancestry, our lineage, also our roots, topics of the mother, topics of mothering, or topics of other parents or parental people in our life that took a maternal role. And you have the Magician. So this is about activating who you truly are, all your resources, and topics of the home. So this can be about, again, this is also ruled, the Magician's ruled by Mercury, right? Or not ruled by, but associated with the sign of Mercury, or the planet Mercury. Mercury is associated with Gemini. Gemini rules the third house. So there's a connection here with contracts also, because the third house can speak of contracts. So maybe for some of you, you're going into new contracts with your home. This can be your lease. This can be a new mortgage. This can be about speaking about topics regarding your home. This can also be with the alchemizing energy of the Magician. For some of you, really focusing on maybe remodeling or doing some work at home, utilizing your own resources, like your own skill set, your own talent. Mercury also rules the hands. So this can mean that you are doing a lot of the work yourself at home. But it can also be that you're working in topics of alchemizing, right? Like spiritual work at home. Like this is happening in the place that you live in. And then you got the Queen of Swords. OMG, Libra, you are rocking it this year. This is amazing. This is like amazing energy. So now you have here the pair, right? You have the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. And remember, Ace of Cups is here. This can also indicate a relationship, a new relationship in the home, or you creating and alchemizing a new relationship in the home. Potentially someone you met in your neighborhood, or someone that you met in social media here with the Queen of Swords. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, Libra. Look how stunning this is, right? You got the pair, you got the duo here. And there's a connection between these two. But also there's a focus in your home life. So for some of you, this is you're bringing someone into your home. You're bringing a connection, a relationship, a commitment into your home. Or maybe you're moving somewhere in with someone or closer. Or even if you're not necessarily moved into the same home, because the third and the fourth here are connected for you, it could just be someone who's near you. Okay, and you're adjusting things, alchemizing things with the Magician because of this new connection. I say new because of the Ace of Cups, but I do recognize it's not going to be entirely new for all of you, right? But for most of you, this is a new connection here. This can also, if it's not romantic, it can just simply be an intellectual union with someone, with the swords here, the Queen and the King of Swords. Then we move into the fifth house. The fifth house is creativity. It speaks about topics of our children, leisure, hobbies, romance, our entrepreneurship, the business we own, basically the things we create from scratch, our creations. That's why our children live in the fifth house. OMG. You're going to have a hot year, Libra. The King of Wands. Woo! Some of you may have met a Leo romantically. If you haven't, though, this is about your creative essence. You can't get more creative than the King of Wands. Not only is it a creative card, but it's a full expression of self. This is not only expansion, but this is full actualization of self, committed to our creative. And this fell in the house of the creative. The fifth house is originally tied in with the sign of Leo, and the King of Wands, especially in this deck, for me, symbolizes Leo. So this is about being in full alignment with your creations, with your children. Also your hobbies, like really taking action into doing the things that inspire you this year. Whether it's romance, creative, your leisure, the things that you're doing, you're inspiring too, right? Because this is your entrepreneurship. This is also how we shine in public sometimes too. So you're coming off as somebody who's very well respected here, acknowledged, creative, not afraid to lead, very brave, courageous, leading with heart, right? Leading with heart. Let's see what else we have there in the 5th house. Oh my God, I am loving, loving, loving your reading. And the 6 of Swords. And the reason is beautiful. The reason is, for some of you, you are moving. You're moving away from or moving into with something or someone. But also this level of courage, this level of optimism and creative and being all in on something, whether it's romantic, creative, whatever it is for you, is the result of having to walk away from things that just simply didn't work for you. And as cliche as that sounds, because I know we hear it all the time, move away from the things that no longer serve. As cliche, you are actually seeing evidence of this, like the stark contrast, right? Between being in a situation where you're stuck in something and then you move away and bam, you glow up. That's what this energy is. And then we move into the 6th house. The 6th house it speaks about topics related to health, routine, the day-to-day work that we do, the details of organizing, and how we give service, the service we give to others. But more importantly than any of that, it is health. Beautiful. And here it shows that with your community, whoever you hold sacred in your life, your friendships, your siblings, community as a whole, are going to directly affect your health here. And also, there is an element of service here. Like you are going to be giving of yourself quite a bit here in 2025, Libra. And it's going to include people that are on the same wavelength with you. This could be very spiritual too. I feel also, though, there's something related here to your health. It's almost like being happier and being in relationships with other people are going to directly spill into that positivity of health, right? But also your routine. Like your routine is going to be a bit more spiritual, like the day-to-day stuff that you do. I hope you can see all the cards okay. I can't tell as of right now. Let's see what else do we have in the 6th house. Page of Wands. Yeah, so you're learning something new here. And it can be a hobby or something fun that spills into your health here. And it has to do with other people, right? But this is about moving the body with the Page of Wands. It also symbolizes Sagittarius. So you could be like maybe one of your new friends here, or maybe a friend that's helping you awaken that part of your health, maybe teach you something new. Because here with the Page of Wands is very physical, right? It's very exuberant. It's very inspiring. It leads. It takes on new hobbies. It tries on new adventures. And it's ready to take the call. But these new adventures for you are happening with other people, because of other people in the house of health. So it could be something that you do to improve your health that involves other people, or something that you just start doing as a hobby that has the result of helping you heal something physically. All right, then we move into the 7th house, and this is everyone's favorite house because it is the house of relationship. It's a house of marriage. It also speaks about legalities and legal issues and contracts. It also speaks of divorce and other partnerships, right? Anything contractual, whether written or verbal. And you have the 8 of Cups. So there can be a walking away here in 2025 from a partnership. Now, again, this can be business, this can be romantic, this can also be a contract, a legal obligation that you were potentially involved in before, and now here in 2025, you're able to walk away, but it's a peaceful walking away. It's a peaceful walking away. It's about walking away to something that is more inspiring, right? It's not like a jarring closure. It's peaceful. And you have the World. So yeah, that walking away can include traveling or moving, quite literally moving. Remember, we saw this energy over here with potential movement. So maybe some of you are just leaving a neighborhood behind, a home. A way of thinking with the world can also speak of an ideology. Maybe you're moving into a different cultural expansion here, especially with the Three of Cups down below here in the 6th house. So it's like you're growing. You know, I feel strongly that the partnership, the relationship that you're walking away from, it just feels like you're walking away from an old self, an old you, and you're walking into a more expanded version of yourself, more culturally aware. Like being aware of what's different from others, right? Because remember, you did get this POV here in the 2nd house, the hangman, of like valuing people who are different, valuing different perspectives. So there's a relationship there. And then we move into the 8th house of merging, the 8th house of deepest psychology. It's one of the hidden houses, it's one of the water signs, or I'm sorry, water houses. It speaks about the things we fear, the dark thoughts, but it can also uplift us. It's the house of rebirth, transformation, death, other people's resources, the money, the value, the time, the wisdom of other people. And you have the King of Pentacles. So this is like a amazing card to get in the 8th house, because essentially what it's saying, beautiful Libra, is that anything you need in terms of resources from other people, and this can include loans, it can include, like loans for a mortgage, loans for a business, money, resources, time, teachings, a master at something teaching you something, whatever other people hold as a resource being available to you. This can also speak about inheritance. The 8th house also rules inheritance, life insurance. It speaks of taxes. So this is about you having favor, Libra, this year in 2025, and those topics, things that have to do with inheritance, things that have to do with the time and the wisdom of others. Also looking at your psychology in a more pragmatic, stable, committed way, right? Like potentially going to see a therapist. The King of Pentacles can symbolize a therapist, because the 8th house is the house of psychology as well. The King of Pentacles can symbolize a person that you trust, that's wise. It's creating stability for you to be able to move through those heavy 8th house waters. But this is a beautiful card to get there in the 8th house. It's like getting all the things you need in terms of resources, other people's resources. Different from the 2nd house. This is your resources. This is other people's resources and deep psychology. And then you have the Page of Cups. So I think what it's starting to look like here is that a new creative or a new love, either someone or something. This can also represent a child, by the way. It can be a child, it can be a new love, a new romantic partner, a new thing that you started doing creatively that has inspired you to break out of your comfort zone here and look into deeper things. Like this is lineage also, right? So there's an inspiration happening here. You know, someone else having a child that they bring into your life, that can be a resource too. It's like, that's the resource of love, right? So some of you may be getting involved with somebody who has a child that has also stimulated your heartstrings here. You can also be merging with somebody who's younger than you, right? Because also, I failed to mention, and I apologize, but the 8th house is also the house of sexuality. It's, again, it's the house of intimacy, right? And resources. A lot lives in the 8th house. I always laugh about that because I'm like, geez, of course it had to be the house of Scorpio because so much lives in there. There's so much intensity, right? The Scorpio carries very Plutonian. also. So yeah, this is quite interesting. I'm curious if you care to share, Libra, what this means. All right, and then we move into the ninth house. The ninth house is higher learning. It's the house of foreigners, foreign land, learning other languages. It speaks of grad school, PhDs, higher level certifications, education that we're receiving. It also talks about what we're teaching or the things that we master and then we teach, but it can also speak about ideologies, cultural ideologies, because it's the house of foreigners, but also philosophy and religion, those type of topics as well. We have the Hermit. So you are reflecting a lot about those things. Something here has cracked you. Something has changed your point of view about life and life as you've known it up until this point, Libra. You're really going inward here with the Hermit in topics of the ninth house. This is your philosophies. Like, what do I believe in? Who am I? The ideologies and that religion that I grew up with, does it really serve me still? Remember, you have the Hierophant. This is also about thinking about those things that have to do with, potentially, for some of you, ideologies and religion. Maybe some of you are starting to consider some form of spirituality, or whether or not you believe in what you thought you believed in. Right? So this is also hermiting away on a foreign land somewhere, like quite literally isolating yourself abroad. But the purpose is to really go inward and reflect, like, who am I? You know, the ninth house is such a emotional house. Like it doesn't get enough credit in terms of its emotion, like how deep it gets us going, because yes, the eighth house is all psychology, deep depths, but the ninth house really has us question our place in the world, in life, our contribution to it on a higher philosophical level. Right? So it's interesting that these two follow, because usually in the eighth house is a breakdown, but in the ninth house, there's a breakthrough. So let's see what else we have here. Yeah, we have the Devil. Yeah. You're being tempted to like get up and go. There's a temptation here to go in deep. You could be questioning your own toxicity, the toxicity of others, any abuse that you may have experienced any time in your life, any addictions, anything that you know is not good, any bad habits that you may be holding on to that are related to the ninth house, like related to ideology, related to the things we believe in, the culturally what we grow up. This is like a pensive, geez, do I really believe in that thing that I grew up with? Maybe it's about not liking other people who are different than us, right? Because here it's about, there's a lot here about people who are different from us. With Hangman in the second house in the world, there's this shift here of ideology. And I do feel there's a big cultural thing here, especially with the Hierophant. It's like changing, it's like this, there's something happening. You're going through a breakthrough here is what it feels like, Libra, in 2025. Well, then we move into the 10th house. And the 10th house, beautiful Libra, is our career, our fame, our reputation, our social standing, how other people view us. Different from the first house. The first house is like one-on-one, how people view us. The 10th house is like the masses, like big groups, that kind of thing. And you have the Six of Cups. This is very beautiful. It's very healing and it's very compassionate. So your reputation is very Six of Cups. So someone who is nurturing, someone who helps heal the past. You may be also thinking about a career or something in your past that you miss. But this is more about, I think, the energy you're embodying in the masses, right? Different from the first house. But let's get some more info. And then you have the Moon. These two combined, the Six of Cups and the Moon, very emotional. Very emotional. And it got very emotional here, right? So again, it's about almost like shifting your identity before the public's eye. to someone who's more compassionate. You know, sometimes with the Six of Cups here and the Moon, this can be isolation and loss, right? Like a loss of a pet potentially here, but also feeling isolated from something or someone. But in the 10th house of career and fame, it could be something that maybe we're forced to bring out into the public. We're forced to either talk about, even though we wanted it to be hidden. For others of you, you could be hiding what's really happening behind closed doors regarding your personal life, your childhood, things with your family. You could be hiding it from the public. You could be hiding it from people you work with, right? Especially for those of you who are influencers, who have political careers, who are like big CEOs or what have you in your companies. And so you're kind of having to be strong, right? Very interesting, Libra. Let's move into the 11th house. The 11th house is social networks. It is the house of our friends, also social media, along with third house. The third and the 11th house both speak of social media, but it's also the house of hopes and wishes. And you have the Six of Wands. So you're going to be shining here, beautiful Libra, either on social media with the 11th house. And remember, you also got the King of Wands here in the 5th house of creativity and also social standing to some extent, because Leo rules this or is associated with this house. So here you have a connection, 5th, 11th. So yeah, 5th, 11th actually is on the opposite side of the axis too. So there is a relationship here. So I would check, if I were you, what's going on in your own personal chart in the 5th and the 11th house. But here you're shining, you're leading. This is the card of Leo again. You're leading in something, and I think it's online with the 11th house. Also within your network, within your community, within your friends, you're leading it. And you are doing it with, you know, that's with respect and admiration. You're being admired for something you're doing, but yet something this is fascinating, Libra, because while you are publicly being recognized for something, there's a part of you you're keeping behind the scenes here with these two, the Hermit, the Devil. Some of you may be struggling with some form of addiction behind the scenes with these two, with the Devil next to the Moon here. It's almost like you're trying to, and I'm not saying that you're being fake, Libra. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that you're putting your best foot forward and you're not maybe presenting something you're struggling with behind closed doors. You could also be struggling with a loss, right? Because remember, we do have the 8 of Cups over here too. So it could be something that you're not able to, you know, because you have the responsibility of inspiring and leading others, right? So that's difficult, right? When we're down or missing someone or struggling with our own shadow, with the Devil here and the Moon, both of these are shadow cards, and the Hermit's about really going deep inward into analyzing ourselves. So there's something that you're struggling with that you're keeping to yourself, right? But the Six of Wands, you're being successful. You're being seen as successful. And then remember what you got here in the 3rd house, which is communication, social media, right? This is a great reading. I mean, I know this part doesn't feel like it, but we all have shadow. We're all hiding something from the public, right? But some years I feel like more than others, depending on what's happening. All right, let's see what else for the 11th house for Libra. Yeah, 4 of Wands. So you're building stability, you're building commitment, community, fun, love, joy, leadership in the 11th house of your community, your networks, social media, in the public eye here somehow. These are 2 fire cards, right? Energy, action, liberation, inspiration, creativity. You're being acknowledged, received well for it. I love it. Okay, beautiful Libra, let's move into our last placement here, which is the 12th house. And the 12th house are the things that are hidden, the things that happen behind closed doors. It speaks of our hidden talents, our hidden enemies, high-level spirituality. It is associated with the house of Pisces, or with the sign of Pisces. And so it can speak about the fantastical, our daydreams, our fantasies, our nights, the things we dream at night, our sleep state, all of that. So much lives in the 12th house. The 12th house is another water house, like the 8th and the 4th house. And as you can tell, the water houses carry a lot of themes within them. Yeah, the 9 of Wands. You're protecting something behind closed doors. It's related to this for sure. There's something you are protecting, that you're defending, that you are being vigilant about. You're definitely guarding something, and this feels like you're guarding yourself. I'm gonna get another card and get a little more info on, because remember, the 12th house is isolation. It is hidden. It is what we're doing in private. And then you have the Queen of Wands. You could be protecting some creative project. You could also be protecting a love interest here with the Queen of Wands. You could also be, there's a lot of fire going on here for you. A lot of water and a lot of fire, which is sensual, sexual, action, love, emotion, passion. There's a lot going on with you this year with those topics. And but here it's like hiding something, hiding and keeping, not hiding it in a negative way, but keeping it private behind closed doors and being very protective over it, maybe even a little defensive about it, because it's something that either makes you feel so good, so creative, or they are inspiring, or you are. It can be a project, it could be a person. You know, it could be something happening, it could be some kind of romance happening behind closed doors or in secret or in privacy. But you're taking care of it. And it could be because you have so much of this public stuff happening, Libra, that you recognize that you need to protect what you have going on. So whether it's your own energy, your own enthusiasm, your own creative, your own inspiration, or a person that you absolutely adore, and you're just like, I'm not going to F this up. Like, I need to keep this private and I need to protect it, right? Wow, you have a lot of beautiful stuff happening this year, Libra. Let me see. Let me look at this one last time to see if there's anything else I want to add. Yeah, bottom line for 2025, your focus and value is family, creating family, establishing family, continuing the lineage. Honey, if you're planning on applying for any loans or anything, I would say this is a good year to do it with that. Some of you are getting in relationships with somebody who has a child. Others of you are longing and wanting to have a child. There's a lot of creative happening for you this year. Beautiful reading, Libra. I hope this was helpful for you. Please make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and I will find you back here again soon. And I'm so sorry, I just realized everything's so crooked on the table. I hope you were able to see everything. Thank you so much, Libra. I will find you back here again soon. Bye.